I've heard this guy's show on Genesis Sundays, and I'm impressed with it. I heard it one day when I wasn't even doing my own broadcast. Sometimes I take off on Sundays. And he's Pharmacist Ben Fuchs, a nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado, specializes in using nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmacological drugs. He hosts The Bright Side on Genesis Sundays, and also he co-hosts Dead Doctors Don't Lie. And from my research, and by the way, I've just started taking some of the stuff that's recommended by Pharmacist Ben Fuchs and by Dr. Joel Wallach. My wife, though, is big into exercise. I mean, she exercises super hard. She's in great shape, and she loves the pollen burst. She loves the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, and because they have minerals in them, and they have B vitamins and other key things. But the issue is our food, because of the soils in this country and the toxic fertilizers, has been basically adulterated with chemicals and additives, but also doesn't have the minerals in it. And so many of the problems are caused by mineral deficiencies. But that's only one level of this. But I want to talk to Pharmacist Ben Fuchs specifically about, formerly being a mainline pharmacist, what he saw with bad drug interactions and these toxic drugs. I mean, you see the ads for big pharma mainline drugs. It's like, got restless legs? Well, take this. You know, it may cause you to do all these horrible things or all these health problems, but still it's greater. Having trouble needing to go to the bathroom too much? Here, take this. You know, but it may make you die. Or here, you know, 3,000 people die a year of the papilloma virus. But here, take this vaccine that doesn't even protect you from it, and then it ends up killing you. Ben, great to have you on with us.
Greetings, Alex. Thank you so much, and thank you for all your wonderful work. I've been following your stuff for almost a decade now, and it's just a tremendous, tremendous asset to have you on our side. Well, in pharmacy school, one of the main things we study in pharmacy school, believe it or not, is side effects. I remember watching a movie, and I graduated from pharmacy school back in 1986, and I remember watching a movie that was put out by a drug company, a promotional movie for a new drug that was going to revolutionize the hypertensive business, the antihypertensive business. It was a drug called Inderal, or now known as propranolol. It was a beta blocker drug. It was a new class of drugs, and this was an hour-long movie that was done to promote this drug. In the first 15 minutes, they talked about how revolutionary this drug was going to be. The last 45 minutes was some lady reading the side effects of this drug, and she was reading them very fast, and she could barely get them through in 45 minutes. And right then and there, I knew we had a problem. And then when I graduated pharmacy school and started to work in the drug business, I started to see what I was actually doing as a perpetrator, as a pushing these medicines on children and on the elderly, because that's who takes most of our medicine, is children and the elderly. And I just couldn't live with myself. And the more and more I did research, the more I found out that we are not sick in this country. We're starving. We're missing basic raw materials. You see, Alex, the human body is a healing and regenerating system. It's designed on a divine basis to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis, and you need look no further than the last time you cut your finger to observe this healing process in place. And that same healing process that kicks in when you get a little paper cut, where little fibers wind their way to the area and collagen comes through and white blood cells clear it out, and all of a sudden 2 days later you don't even know you have a cut. That same process happens inside the body. It happens on a regular basis. It's divinely mandated, but it needs raw materials to do its work. And those raw materials are what we call nutrition and nutritional supplementation, and those are the raw materials that we're missing. We're missing them, as you said, the last hour, from the ground up. We're missing them from the soils. We're missing them from the plants. We're missing them from food processing. And the net effect is degenerative diseases are increasing at an epidemic rate, and it is a tragic, tragic state of affairs. And Alice, you ever hear the term useful idiot?
Yes.
Well, let me tell you something. With all due respect to the good doctor, that term is very appropriate. I don't know what his intentions are. Maybe I'm sure he's a nice guy, but to go out and to tell people that they need to go off of their vitamins, that vitamins cause problems, is absolutely at best irresponsible, and at worst it's insidious and evil. The fact of the matter is vitamins have zero side effects. Vitamins have, and by the way, I don't mean just vitamins and minerals and what we call nutritional compounds have zero side effects, zero toxicities, zero adverse effects. The worst thing that can happen is you can take a 500 vitamin A pills and go into something called hypervitaminosis, which immediately reverses as soon as you stop taking the vitamins, unlike prescription drugs, which are a leading cause of death, which are a leading cause of hospitalizations, fifth leading cause of death, according to the Journal of the American Medical
Association. And by the way, you're a pharmacist, and you know, my dad's a dentist, and I've seen him call a pharmacist friend of his to ask if a drug interacts. My dad's really smart, but he'll tell you a pharmacist knows more than he does because you deal with this every day. And I know medical doctors will call and check with pharmacists about interactions because you guys are the experts.
With all due respect to doctors, they are trained in hiding symptoms and masking symptoms. And I should clarify that there's two types of medicine. There is what we call heroic medicine, where, by the way, American medicine excels.
A gunshot wound, a compound fracture.
Heart attacks, stitching you up, get hit by a car or bus. That's called heroic medicine, and nobody ever gives short shrift to surgeons or people who practice heroic medicine, where medicine is an abject failure. An abject failure
is pharmakia.
Ambulatory medicine, where people are being treated for their symptoms. Well, Alex, your symptoms are your friends. Your diabetes is your friend. Your psoriasis, your arthritis is your friend, because it's telling you there is something underneath in the biochemistry of your body that needs to be corrected, or your demise is imminent. The idea is not to hide the symptom. The idea is not to mask the symptom. The idea is not to shut the body down. The idea is to figure out what is wrong, what is the body trying to tell you, and to correct that problem. And more often than not, it is based in the nutritional system. And that's why nutritional supplementation is an absolute must. It is not an option, especially in this day and age of health insurance, where everybody's screaming and up in arms about buying health insurance, being forced to buy in health insurance, the costs of health insurance. My friends, there is no better health insurance, and there is no less expensive health insurance than $3 a day on a nutritional supplementation program.
Well, one of the things I like to do is simplify things. In pharmacy school, we always learn how to educate the public. You know, think about it. The most trusted profession every year is the pharmacist. And why is that? It's because we're trained in taking very complicated information about medicine, information that people really don't have a lot of, don't really understand, and simplifying it and making it more palatable, making it bite-sized for people to grasp. Well, I do that with nutrition. And the way I do it with nutrition is I take this vast, somewhat confusing subject, somewhat overwhelming subject of nutrition. I mean, it's very easy for people just to throw their arms up and say, I give up. And what I like to do is take that vast subject matter and simplify it into bite-sized components. And the way I do it is with what I call the 8 chapters of good nutrition. And the 8 chapters of good nutrition are protein, fat, carbohydrates, fiber, water, vitamins, minerals, and trace nutrients. The first 5 chapters are I call macronutrients. These are nutrients you need a lot of. The last 3 chapters are trace nutrients, like the pixie dust that activates the macronutrients. So when it comes to the 8 chapters of good nutrition, how do you incorporate that into your lifestyle? How do you incorporate it into your lifestyle in an easy way, in a manageable way? So take chapter 1, protein. Your needs for protein are unspeakably huge. The average person needs somewhere around half a gram to a gram of protein per pound of body weight. So you weigh, say, 150 pounds, you're looking at 75 grams to 150 grams of protein if you want to be optimally healthy from a protein standpoint. How are you going to get 150 grams of protein? An egg has around 7 grams of protein. So you're looking, right away, you're looking at 20 eggs just to get your protein from eggs. From steak or from hamburger, you cook your protein, you don't even really know what you're getting, but it's very difficult to get those kinds of quantities. In order to effectively and manageably get 75 to 150 grams of protein if you weigh 150 pounds, the only way to do it is to supplement. And the only way to supplement with protein is to make sure that you're getting some kind of quality powder. The most important quality protein powder that you'll ever find is whey protein, by far. Whey is a complex food that contains not just protein fractions and not just all of the major protein components, which are called amino acids, but it contains specifically the kinds of proteins that are important for building things, for building a body. Because when you think about it, what is milk? Milk is a substance that mammals produce to build an adult mammal from a baby mammal. Well, those factors that are building are concentrated in the portion of the milk that's called whey. And they're especially concentrated in the portion of the milk that's called whey protein. And whey protein is so easy to get. It's available in any health food store. It's available through the Youngevity products. And it's really the only way to make sure that you're getting these the concentrated amounts of protein that you need through protein powders.
I mean, people probably know about whey from weightlifting and that kind of thing.
Exactly.
But it's good for everybody?
Heck yes, and I'll tell you why. Number one, if a bodybuilder or an athlete is doing something, we should all be doing it, because just getting your butt out of bed in the morning is an athletic event. Just getting through your day contains an athletic component just to function in your day. So if an athlete is doing something for their performance, you want to think of yourself as an athlete of life, and you want to see what they're doing to improve their performance so you can improve your performance in the athletics of life. So it's true, bodybuilders love whey protein. Why? Because it builds muscle. However, whey protein contains other factors that make this a stupendously important food. Whey protein contains something called lactoferrin, which is a natural antibiotic. Whey protein also contains small components that are called globulins that are important for building the calf's immune system. Well, when you do whey protein, those little globulins that build the calf's immune system, they go into your immune system and do exactly the same thing. So not only do you have proteins and amino acids specific for building, but you have lactoferrin, which is a natural antibiotic, and you have immune globulins that support your immune system, all in one food. That's what makes whey protein the single most powerful food, with the exception perhaps of eggs and human mother's milk. So one of the neat things about whey protein is you put it in water, you drink it, or you put it in your blender and you throw a few other things in and you drink it. One dish to wash, no muss, no fuss, you're well nutriated. That's one of the neat things about supplementing is it's brain fart free, brain damage free. It's easy to do. You just add the stuff to water and you drink it. And that's one of the neat things about nutritional supplements as well, is you can get your nutrients without having to waste a lot of time in the kitchen. As far as food goes, that's a whole nother story, because I think foods are very important. But the less work you give your digestive system, the longer you will live. So the key to longevity and the key to health and wellness is to figure out a way to get lots of nutrients without lots of calories. So when your protein levels are low and your amino acid levels are low, tryptophan and glutamine, you're going to be on a one-pointed, highly focused hunt for sugar, and your brain is going to take that, your body's going to take that sugar, and under orders from your brain, it's going to store it on your gut or on your butt, because it thinks a famine is coming. It thinks wintertime is approaching. So protein, ingestion of protein, proper ingestion of protein, tells the brain that all is right in the world. It's summertime on the African savannah. There's plenty of food, and we can put all those nutrients into building muscle so we can go out and hunt and do all the things human beings are supposed to do. Good health should be as easy as a piece of ripe fruit just dropping off of a tree. And when you give yourself high protein, when you give yourself concentrated amounts of protein, 0.5 gram to 1 gram per pound of body weight, you'll find that your sugar cravings just naturally go away. Okay, chapter 2 is fats. And just like protein is a dieter's best friend because it'll get you off the sugar, fat is a dieter's second best friend because it'll get you off the bad fat. The good fat will get you off the bad fat. Our body's need for protein is hardwired, and our body's need for fat is hardwired as well. And if you are low fat, if you are deficient in fat, and somebody puts a slice of pizza in front of you, there is no way you are going to be able to withstand that, because the drive for fat is built into your brain. So what do? You get yourself essential fatty acids. In nutrition, whenever you hear that word essential, that means your body can't make it. It has to come in from the outside. And there are 2 fatty acids. You can just think of them for simplicity's sake as fats. There are 2 types of fats that are said to be essential because our body can't make it, your body needs it, but it has to come from the outside. If you don't have enough essential fatty acids, whatever fat is sitting in front of you, you're going to go for it, because your body's need for fat, like your body's need for protein, is hardwired. So if you want to get off the sugar, you go for the protein. If you want to get off the pizza, or you want to get off the French fries or the fat, go for essential fatty acids. Now, essential fatty acids, the role in the body is tremendously, tremendously important. But one of the most important places where essential fatty acids play a role is they get converted into something called master hormones. And master hormones are hormones that regulate all of the other hormones. They're transcendent to all of your other hormones, and they come directly from essential fatty acids. Without essential fatty acids, you cannot make those master hormones. Master hormones regulate all the opening and closing of your body, all the opening and closing of blood vessels, nerves firing or not firing. Any kind of dynamic movement in the body is regulated by these master hormones, which in turn come from essential fatty acids. There are many Americans who go cradle to grave without enough essential fatty acids because they're so difficult to find from food.
Yeah.
If you're not supplementing, you're not getting them. You can almost one-to-one treat your fat cravings as deficiencies in essential fatty acids. So getting yourself on a good essential fatty acid is unbelievably important. There's two ways to do it. You can do it in liquid fashion. There's many brands of liquid. Or the easy way to do it is capsules, like the Youngevity product, the Ultimate EFAs. Take 3 capsules morning, 3 capsules afternoon, 3 capsules night. Now, one of the things that happens as we get older is we don't absorb our fats. And so many people are having problems not only getting essential fatty acids, but once they take their essential fatty acids, absorbing the essential fatty acids. So if you have a problem, then you're going to have to throw in some digestive enzymes or take your essential fatty acids with food. But other than that, as long as you don't have a digestive problem, taking essential fatty acids, generous amounts, maybe 9 capsules a day, are one of the fastest ways to demonstrate dramatic improvement in skin health, in blood pressure health, in blood sugar health, and in brain health. And it doesn't take very... Gathering information is the most important thing you can do. The reason I do what I do is because I want people to have this kind of information. For the listeners, for people who are out there, there is nothing more important than gathering information about this whole, about how we take care of our bodies and how we don't take care of our bodies. To me, our access to the internet that we have for now is a gift from on high.
Because I have been listening to your show for about 6 months now, and it finally sunk in just from your first 2 points that you got to take the protein and you got to take the essential fats.
Right.
And I've lost a ton of weight just doing that alone, some moderate exercises, and taking these Youngevity supplements that we have. There I am 6 months ago.
That's amazing.
And, I've lost somewhere on the order of 65 pounds or so.
But Aaron, here's the thing. It's great you lost weight, and I love that we look good and you lose weight, and it's great that you can see that you lost weight because it's a way to visually demonstrate for you how effective a nutritional supplement program like the Youngevity products can be. But what's really important, Aaron, is you just added a decade to your life. You just reduce your risk of arthritis. You just reduce your risk of heart disease. You reduce your risk of cancer. You reduce your risk of stroke. You reduce your risk of dying from all the things that Americans die from. And I don't care about dying personally. I don't have a fear of death. But what I don't want to happen is I don't want to get a stroke. And I don't want to have an aneurysm. And I don't want to end up in a wheelchair. And I don't want to end up where I can't move my body. And that is the prognosis, unfortunately, of most Americans if they continue down the road that they're on. What you just did, in addition to losing 60 pounds and looking good, you added years to your life and reduced your risk of degenerative disease and breakdown. And to me, that is key.
Well, I don't like being a slave to the system either.
And then that's another thing. How demeaning it is to be a slave to French fries, or to be a slave to some kind of processed food that somebody is trying to sell you that could care less about you. Do you ever see the person who's making your tacos at Taco Bell? That person could care less about you, and you never want to eat food that is being prepared by somebody who could care less about you. And to me, that's the most important reason for not eating fast food and not eating food that's prepared by somebody where I can't see what they're doing, is it's very dangerous to eat food that is prepared by somebody who A, doesn't care about you, and B, is trying to extract money from you.
But it's really true. When I started taking these supplements, the Youngevity and some other good herbs too you could find, I mean, I did not have that craving. That was the only thing that's ever killed those terrible cravings.
That's awesome. You know, I never get tired.
Thank you for that.
I appreciate that. I never get tired of hearing stories like that, but I got to tell you, I hear them over and over and over again. And what seems like a miracle to some folks, to me, it's just the way the body works.